I now call to order the special meeting for the Lake Havasu Unified School District Governing Board on May 21st, 2025. Roll call.
Michael Kern.
Present.
Evelyn Tinsley.
Here.
Lisa Ramon.
Here.
Matthew Houston.
Here.
David Rose.
Here. We'll now have a moment of silent prayer or private reflection. Amen. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I want to thank all of you for being here today. First, before we get started, want to welcome our newest governing board member, Mike Kern. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Also want to thank all of you for being here today. Unfortunately, during special meetings, there is not a call to the public, and I'm sure some of you were hoping to speak today. So I want to encourage you to email the governing board. We will definitely respond. Some of us also potentially will be available following today's meeting if there's questions that we can answer for you. Also want to answer a question. We had received information that potentially some of you thought today's meeting was in regards to Principal Jenny Sotner, and I want to address that today. Today's meeting is not in regards to her, but I just want to clarify some things and maybe answer some questions what is going on with her and her contract. So in our last governing board meeting, her resignation was supposed to be on the agenda. Since then, the attorneys had determined, because her name was not listed, that her resignation was not accepted. And that was between the governing board's attorney and her attorney. Therefore, her contract that she signed at the beginning of the year that was approved by this board is in good standing and is active for the following school year. There was further discussion about another type of contract, and those are discussions that the governing board will have with legal counsel. But because there are attorneys involved, the board cannot have direct conversation with Mrs. Sotner. It is the governing board's attorney that represents the board and her attorney that represents her. But we just want to clarify that, and hopefully that helps answer some of those questions. Thank you. Moving on to item 2.1, approval of the agenda. I need a motion.
I move to approve the agenda, 2.1.
I second.
Michael Kern.
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley.
Yes.
Lisa Ramon.
Yes.
Matthew Houston.
Yes.
David Rose.
Yes. Now, item 3.1, motion for executive session.
I move to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Michael Kern.
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley.
Yes.
Lisa Ramon.
Yes.
Matthew Houston.
Yes.
David Rose.
Yes.
Lost? You got lost on your first day?
Yeah. You're right behind me.
All right, at this time, I motion to come out of executive session.
I second.
Michael Kern,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley,
Yes.
Lisa Roman,
Yes.
Matthew Houston,
Yes.
David Rose.
Yes. At this time, I am very thrilled to announce to everyone here today and to our community that Dr. Rebecca Stone will be returning as the superintendent of the Lake Havasu Unified School District effective immediately. At this time, she will be virtual until further notice, but she is returned effective as of today.
And then we need a motion.
And now we need a
I
motion.
move to direct the attorney to take action as discussed in executive session.
And I will second.
Michael Kern,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley,
Yes.
Lisa Roman,
Yes.
Matthew Houston,
Yes.
and David Rose.
Yes. At this time, item 3.3, technology.
Good.
Hello? Good? Yep.
You're the tech guy, so you tell us.
I know. Yeah, the light's on, so I guess I'm good. Make sure you guys hear me okay. All right, let me get my readers on. Okay. Item 3.3 in regards to technology is in relationship to the E-rate projects that were previously approved by the board back on April 10th. During that meeting, 3 technology E-rate upgrade proposals were passed unanimously by the governing board. Since then, LHUSD was made aware of vendor fees and a portion of a switch licensing fee that would not be funded by USAC. That's the entity that funds that program. At the time the E-rate funding was requested, LHUSD Technology Department was unaware that the contract fees were not eligible for the 80% discount. As a result, we need to extend the not-to-exceed amounts for each of the following E-rate projects: network switches, district UPS replacements, and the district-wide E-rate WLAN upgrades and cabling. And below are the changes that are requested. So for the switch switch project, the current NTE is $7,320, and the revised would be $11,000. And for the UPS project, the current is $60,000, and the revised not to exceed would be $66,000. Whereas the WLAN and cabling project, the NTE is currently $152, and would be revised to $162,000. There was also a PDF attached that has a full breakdown of all the figures and the items that were not covered by USAC. So the line item that says fee of $2,000 under UPS, that's an item that was not covered, as well as under the next one down, the WLAN and cabling, the fee for $5,100 and so on, and also for the switch breakdown. For the switch, so there's a material fee that was ineligible. That was the $3,900.77, which is necessary for the project to proceed. So really all we're asking for are those changes in what was approved for the funding from USAC. So that's it.
All right, at this time, we will need a motion for approval of item 3.3 unless there's questions from any of the governing board members.
I do have a question, but I'll make a motion first.
Okay.
So I move to approve 3.3.
I second.
So kind of the reason that this meeting was scheduled for today at this time is because we were up against a deadline when the rates will increase. Can you tell me that deadline?
It was June 6th.
June 6th,
It would be
okay.
prior to the next meeting.
So we couldn't wait until our next regularly scheduled board meeting. We needed to do something, and we needed to do something, we know it's graduation and the weekend and all that, so we needed to.
And what
do this.
would the increase of percentage been?
Well, at this date, we don't know because the schedule increases would occur after June 6th. So they would have to re-quote the project if we
Okay.
exceeded that date. And primarily, the wide area network for the wireless would have been impacted, which is the largest project.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, cost saving, all right. Roughly $19,680 in increase.
Yes,
And this is the program that we use to provide broadband access to our students and internet connectivity and all that?
it does.
Yes,
yeah.
okay.
So are these hard dollar contracts or is it time and material?
Time and material. So it has both, the actual materials, labor, everything's inside of it. The actual quote was provided previously. If you like, I have one with me if you'd like to see that, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike Kern,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley,
Yes.
Lisa Roman,
Yes.
Matt Houston,
Yes.
and David Rose.
Yes. All right, at this time, is there any statements or announcements from governing board members?
Nope.
All right, at this time, we need a motion to adjourn, item 5.1.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Michael Kern,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley,
Yes.
Lisa Roman,
Yes.
Matthew Houston,
Yes.
David Rose.
Yes. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day.
You guys. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.